create a brand new project. Okay, so you see there's a bunch of feature cards that Mobile Hub makes available for you. You can enable different sign-in schemes if you want, so you have your own custom authentication using username, password, or phone numbers with MFA. This is driven by Cognito user pools. You can also support authentication with Facebook or Google, so you can federate to those providers. Or if you have an enterprise system, let's say you have Active Directory and you want to support Active Directory logins to your app, you can set up SAML through Active Directory and ADFS, and you can use Cognito to authenticate into those applications. You can pick all of these, you can pick none of these, up to you. Well, not doing databases. This is the API feature I mentioned, so you can create APIs if you want. We can give you some sample API to get started. But this will set up a full-featured API gateway using best practices and Lambda functions, so you can do serverless API management, API creation and management through this UI. Okay, and then we have data storage. This uses Cognito Sync. And here's the bots feature. And before that, I just want to show you connectors. The 6 connectors that are supported right now. You can connect to Salesforce pretty quickly, again, using the same Cognito identity, or to HubSpot or Marketo or any of the common providers. So let's go and add a bot. Okay, see, we have the same samples available in Hub. These are slightly customized for the mobile use case, so they have they have more utterances, and they have some more slot types plugged into them. Or you can just import the bot you created. So you can see when I hit import, I see the 4 bots that I had in the Lex console. Let's go ahead and pick the reinvent demo, because that's the one I just created. And you just hit import, and that's it. If you wanted to create a brand new bot, let's do one for ordering flowers. And this gives you a little sample of the conversation. This is not actually talking to the backend right now, but this gives you an idea of like what the conversation might look like. So you hit create bot. What this does is it actually goes, and if you go check out, you see that bot's created, it's building right now, so we'll get ready in a few seconds. Okay, so you've got this bot. So that's it, that's really all you have to do to create bots for your mobile apps. Next thing you want to do is add them to your application, right? So you go to integration steps. You can get sample apps built with Android, Objective-C, or Swift. And in each case, you can either download the full sample app, or you can download a small part of the SDK, which just has the core and the bits that you need to actually work with these services. So as you add more features or remove features, the SDK will modify itself automatically to only give you the components that you need. This solves a long-standing problem that people have, where they don't want to integrate too much functionality into their app because they're not using it because of SDK pain. So what Mobile Hub does is it deliberately customizes the SDK down to just the bits you need. So what you can do here is we just download the app. Let's start doing that. And you can also use these integration instructions to add these bots to your application. So there's a very small number of steps you need to follow, which are specific to the platform. So for Swift, you just need to add the plist. If you just wanted voice interaction, there's a drag and drop control you can add. If you want text, and here's the registration steps. If you want text, similar steps, we provide controls for you that you can drag and drop into your application, and you can get started. The resources that were created by Mobile Hub when we added a bot are listed on the resources page. So here are the 2 bots that we have that we added to our project. But what Mobile Hub also does is it sets up this execution role, which you saw me select in the Lex console when I was creating the bot. It also creates your identity, which lets you sign up users and lets you authenticate them into your application. This is powered by Cognito. Okay, so we've downloaded the bots, but I've already got them set up here. So let's take a look at one of the bots I've already got set up. So this is a Swift sample. Let's run this. And I'll walk through the code after we walk through the demo. Uh-oh. Demos. So, great. I wonder if you're going to run into classic demo issues. Okay, so here's what your app looks like. So this is from a different project that I created. I had storage and bots enabled in here. And for identity, let's take a look at sign-in. So we're not authenticated, so we have an identity that is an unauthenticated identity. So let's go take a look at the bot. I had a couple of bots that I had. Let's do the appointment one again. So what we do is we provide you with demos for voice-to-voice and text-to-text. Text-to-text is much easier to demo, so let's take a look at it. This is the same appointment thing we had, so let's go and try and book an appointment again. Okay, and this is Alexa responding to us. Not Alexa, Lex. Okay, so let's do a root canal again. Okay, there you go, and you get some slot times, slot values back, similar to how you saw it work in the console. Let's very briefly walk through the code here as well. So we have, so as I mentioned, this is a sample app that gets created by Mobile Hub. Pretty much everything you need is in this one bots folder. You can pretty much copy this over into your application, and you have bots functionality built in. We provide storyboards for you, so you can use them as well. There's the standard main storyboard, and then there's the one that switches into the text controller or the chat controller. And feel free to use this code in your applications and modify it as you need to. The list of bots that we provide that got generated through Mobile Hub are listed in the bot factory. So here's the two that we had. And taking a look at the text controller, what you need to do for Swift and Objective-C is you need to instantiate the Lex client, and then you need to register with the Lex interaction delegate. So, sorry, let's do this. So here's where you set up the Lex client. So specify the configuration, which in this case is your credential provider, which is driven by Cognito, and then you specify the name of the bot you want to interact with. So a bot name is unique across an account, through an account. And then you register your client and the delegate that's going to be responding when someone types in or interacts with the service. So let's go take a look at the delegate. And this is your delegate. The main method you need to implement is the interaction kit method. Like I said, this is kind of like a state engine. So as the conversation's happening back and forth, it'll trigger this else clause in here, where you get the text back and you just display it in the text view. But once you reach the final state, when you reach text dialog state, which is ready for fulfillment, which means the intent has all the data it needs, you can parse out the slots and you can display them here. So this is your extension point if you want to do client-side control of the bot flow. Okay, and then there's some of the handlers, and that's it. So you can just basically copy this code, like I said, and get started with your application. Same thing for Android. Let's take a look at it. So all the config is stored in this AWS configuration.java, which has your identity information. The bot information is stored in the bot factory, which is again the list of bots we have. So you can, if you add new bots, you wanted to switch to a different account, it's just one file you have to modify here with the names. And again, this is a text fragment, this is the part which does the text interaction. Similar to the iOS application, you just have to register a handler, a listener in this case, for the interaction kit, and you should be good to go. So here's how you set up the Lex client. Very similar. You instantiate the credential provider, you provide it to the client, and then you give it the interaction listener, which is defined here. Same model. Once you're ready for fulfillment, you have the extension point, and otherwise you just continue as normal. Okay, so we've got the app, set up bots, we know it works. So let's go and integrate with another AWS service. That's one of the benefits of getting apps built through Mobile Hub. What we want to do, let's say, is we get the slot values back. Let's go store them in Cognito sync, just so we can prove that, yes, the data is getting captured and sent somewhere else. Okay, so I have a little bit of code over here. We'll do it in the Swift sample. So we have a little extension. Okay, we need to import Cognito, which I think is done. And then we just need to invoke this extension where the slots get fulfilled. Right here. So we'll do it right here as soon as you get the message. Okay, and that should be it. If I've done everything correctly, let's go take a look at it. If this works. This is taking its time. This is always the fun part, looking at an emulator startup. Okay, we'll give this a few seconds. Let's move on. If this comes up, we'll switch back to it, and then we can continue working from here. Okay, so anyway, what we were able to do so far